Hey everybody, this is Joe of SoccerJoe.com and the blog Deep End of Stupid. This is probably my first and only video blog because my voice is really dorky sounding. Today I thought I'd talk about my favorite organizing thing, shelving. The reason I'm going to bring up shelving today is there's a lot of info out on the internet and a lot of news stories about people deciding to move to smaller spaces, and shelving is a really great way to control clutter. The problem is some of these websites you see or news stories on the internet or YouTube feature apartments that have been refurbished at quite a bit of an expense, and not everybody has $1 or $2 million to refurbish an apartment. And I'm sure the $10,000 Murphy bed is awesome, but it's just not practical for regular people like us. So I'm just going to show you a few really simple examples of how you can go about building shelves from either stuff you get out of a thrift store or just discarded stuff from the trash. So let's start. Thanks. We're in the kitchen here, and people have a lot of stuff in their kitchen, especially if they cook from scratch. So you want to make use of vertical space. You can see there's a little red shelf at the back of my stove there. It's a very simple thing to make, just a couple angle brackets. It's actually made from the side of a tangerine box. In the fall you'll see winemaking boxes for the grapes at the side of the road, and around Christmas time you'll see the tangerine boxes. They're great because you don't really need to cut them. You just have to take a mallet or a hammer and whack the sides and pull out the nails and you're good to go. What you're looking at here is fiberboard or particle board, or what's known as medium density fiberboard. It's the stuff that cheap furniture is made of. I'm not a big fan of it, mainly because it breaks really easily. It's hard to repair. If it gets wet, it expands and it's basically useless. The only good thing about it is people toss it in the garbage, and on garbage day you can find mountains of it on the side of the road. And it does make pretty good shelves as long as you're not, storing anything really, really heavy on top of it. And it does have nice finishes. Like this is a nice walnut brown. There used to be a bed frame from IKEA. I just found it in the garbage downstairs and I chopped it into 4 shelves, and I think it looks nice. That's pretty much the only nice thing I can say about fiberboard. This is an oversized shower caddy that I found on top of the dumpster. I'm not really big on these to use in the actual shower because they're fairly flimsy, and these large ones, they tend to slide off the nozzle at the top. And as you can see where the shampoo bottle is, I just put that there as an example. There's not really much of a shampoo guardrail there, so it's just waiting to topple over into your tub. But that being said, it's just another way to have a shelf. It's just not in the shower. You can just put a screw in the wall and hang it. I put a little plastic training golf ball. It's like a golf ball that's got little holes in it, used for training purposes. It just makes, to make sure it's a little more secure. And it fits the fan because my bathroom doesn't have a fan. And I was able to hang a few things, my brush and some other stuff off the end. This is my front entrance. Front entrances are a little tricky because you want to make sure that you've got space to put your stuff, but you don't want to impede exiting and entering your house or your apartment with too many shelves. You can see below the photograph there is a shelf. It's basically a jewelry box I found in the garbage. It had a broken door. I took the broken door off, tilted it on its side, and hung it up with a few angle brackets. And it holds things like my MP3 player, my cell phone, my sunglasses. This is an example of sort of a fake floating shelf. I found a couple of IKEA boxes in the free cycle, and what I did is I screwed them together and then just affixed them to the wall. You can see to the left of the cream crackers box some plastic anchors. That's all I used. You can buy those big bag of different sizes at any building center for a few bucks. The nice thing about the box is if you have multiple people in the household, you can put multiple boxes and everybody has their own little cubby hole, and it just makes life easier for everybody. The nice thing about this is it's a shelf, but it's not in the way, so I can still enter and exit the apartment with my bike and not worry about knocking anything over. Another tip is the cream crackers box is held down with two-sided tape, so if I happen to jostle it when I'm taking the bike through the apartment, it doesn't fall down.
This is the entrance to my apartment. I have a couple of milk crates that I found downstairs. And what I did is I found some Amazon delivery boxes in the recycling bin, and they're made from a fairly heavy cardboard, and I just cut them out to make a shelf within the box. I had some extra black paint, so I just painted them just for everything to match. You don't really need to do that. The nice thing about that is if they fall apart or they get wet, well, there's always another Amazon delivery box downstairs in the recycling bin. And it just basically doubles the storage space of the milk crate. This is an example of what I call a no-cut shelf. I found a dresser last summer downstairs in the garbage, and unfortunately the frame had been damaged by water, but the drawers themselves were in really good shape. So I took the 4 drawers upstairs, and you can see I left my mallet on the shelf. I took that mallet and I just smacked the sides and the back and used the front as a shelf because it's already a good size for shelving. It's a nice color, it already has edging. I removed the hardware from the top and put them up with some brackets, and it was a really easy project, mainly because I didn't have to do a lot of sawing. Here's an example of something being used as a shelf, and it really wasn't designed to be a shelf. This is just a CD case I found downstairs. I just screwed it into the wall, and I had some empty jewel cases, and I slid those in to make shelving within the shelving. And you can see it holds some of my vacuum cleaner stuff. And to keep the jewel cases from slipping and sliding out, I just added a little 2-sided tape. And it's very handy because it doesn't stick out very much, but it can hold quite a bit of stuff. This is an example of using boxes as shelving. The 2 upper boxes are from a desk that I found downstairs. The desk itself was completely destroyed, but the 2 drawers were in really good shape, so I just took them and I was able to affix them to the wall with small angle brackets, and you can see they hold a lot of stuff. Below that, there are 3 little boxes. The 2 side boxes are some IKEA boxes, and what I did is I found a piece of pine downstairs that had a really nice finish to it. So I just cut the pine to size and screwed them in the side of the boxes to make more shelves. And the middle box is a wine box, and you can see this held 2 bottles, which makes for extra shelving. And they're really simple to add to the wall. The backs are fairly solid. They're just a light pine or a balsa wood, and you just screw a couple holes in and put some anchors in the wall, and you're off to the races. Of course, this wouldn't be a Slacker Joe video without my celebrity spokesmodel pal Bo the sock monkey. And as you can see, Bo's showing just the tools that you need to be able to do most shelving projects. A cordless drill, some angle brackets, a level, anchors and screws, and a multi-bit screwdriver.
So this concludes my little tutorial on shelving. I don't really have any mind-blowing philosophy on shelving. Basically, there's a lot of stuff you can find around the house or in the scrap heap that you just have to add some brackets or screws to, and there's a shelf. You're really only limited by your imagination. So this is Slacker Joe from slackerjoe.com. Be sure to check out the site at slackerjoe.com and read my blog, Deep End to Stupid. All you have to do is click on the essays link at slackerjoe.com. Thanks and have a great day.